Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Shay, your local numerologist. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share, and make sure you leave your comments below just to share with me some of your experiences. I do read all the comments. All right, so we are doing Life Path 4, your 2023 year ahead reading. All right, so I have Life Path 4 here. You guys are practical, sensible, magical, intellectual problem solvers. Four is a builder of society, right? So it's kind of like you guys may deal with issues of people coming to you, right, to provide resolutions, because in the whole scheme of things, it's kind of like you understand how things start. You understand the foundation of things, okay? So in a year, in a 7 year, 2027, 2023, excuse me, you guys are going to kind of discover this energy of really realizing how powerful and how gifted you are in this energy, right? So next year is definitely going to be a year, or this year, if you're watching this in 2023, is a big year for self-realization. Just like year six, 2022, was about coming to terms with love and harmony and all of that, and really discovering what that meant for you. This year is going to be about discovering what you mean to you, how you provide for the society that you are in, and how that is satisfactory. So, what is the main theme here for our Life Path 4s in 2023? The main theme here: sexuality. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you. And somebody was singing that song the other day. So funny. Oh, we got one more. Who is this? Meg the Stallion. Okay, now. So we have sexuality and pride. Now, I'm sorry, but I can't help to see here that maybe some of you guys have been struggling with your sexuality. And that is a very simplified term, right? Sexuality can mean a lot of things. So, what Spirit is saying right now, that you need to be proud of who you are. You need to stand in your truth. And then I get this idea, because I remember when Salt and Pepper was supposed to perform, and Salt wouldn't sing one of the songs because it was too sexual, and she was a woman of God, and she's just like, oh, that's too much. At the end of the day, honestly, it's just a song. You know what I'm saying? Like, we express ourselves in art. And this is the reason why I don't too much take issue with artists and what they rap about, what they sing about, whatever the case may be, is because when you have an energy in you, right? Especially if it's a dark energy, well, whatever that energy may be, y'all, we all have dark energy within us. You need to be able to express that energy in a way that is not negative, basically, right? Whether it's encouraging people from, hey, I've been through this, depicting your history, anything like that, or creating entertainment, right? Is funny will judge people who make songs about sex or about murder, but if they're making movies about sex and about murder, is totally and completely fine. All right. And so you guys need to remove yourself from this idea that people are going to judge you, because it doesn't matter what you do, people are going to judge you. And I think that really what you guys are doing is stepping out into being in your own energy, right? So it's kind of like appreciating your energy, having pride in your energy, and not like allowing people to sway you for whatever their hangups are or whatever their issues are, not allowing them to like trip you up in their mindset. So I do think that's something that you're gonna have to deal with. I do feel that this is a big deal. And when I say big deal, I mean a big deal to you, right? When it comes to, again, our sexuality, it can be challenging to learn what makes us happy, right? If we are in a space where our mind is closed, right? So I think this is going to require you to open up your mind and try some other things, right? The pride, be proud of who you are, stand in who you are, right? Meg Thee Stallion is hands down my favorite rapper. I like really don't care what anybody else says, but like this is my girl, right? And one thing that I do like about her is that she stand in her energy. And motherfuckers got a problem, she's like, fuck you. You can go do whatever you want to do. And that's literally the energy that you need to stand in. Like that. It doesn't matter what other people think. You are you, and who you are is fine. Your dark energy, your light energy, and everything in between is what makes you who you are. And nobody gets to tell you who you are or how you get to wield your energy. So, why is this going to be? I mean, just an overview. One reason why this may be an issue is because when people are looking up to you, right? And say you've always been this way. Let's say like this really is about sexuality and like this is going to be your big coming out year, right? When people are like, okay, well, but you were my example. Or an even better example is when you are going through a divorce, when you've been with somebody for a number of years, you know, and I'm like, man, you guys were relationship goals. You were together all this time, da 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 da. And now they're looking like, you know, who is going to be my example? Well, it wasn't a good example. If that shit is based off of something false, off of something that wasn't making you happy, it's not an example that you should be willing to set for other people. One thing that I do want you to remember and recognize as you go through this year is that happiness is the goal. When you can't remember anything else from this reading, remember this: happiness is the goal. There's nothing else. That's the goal. Happiness is the goal. So I'm going to go ahead and move on from that. I'm going to pull one more card for our theme and let's get into it. So we got sexuality, we got pride. Spirit says you are the shit. I see scissor passion. Let's see one more. Whoa. Resistance. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I do not know who Sparky D is. I do not know. Hold on, let me I'm actually just gonna pop the book open on this one. Just because I literally don't know who Sparky D is. Sparky D. Here we go. As one of hip hop's most challenging female MCs, Brooklyn's own Sparky D boldly tested Roxanne Shante on her track Sparky's Turn. Roxanne, you're through. Okay, so this was before my time, I see. Setting ablaze the already poppin' Roxanne wore Sparky's hit evidenced her battle rapper core, and she and Shantae lowered their swords to top gloves on round one. Okay. The song had them touring everywhere as onlookers enjoyed watching the girls go toe to toe on stage. I feel like this is a literal balance that you guys are gonna find with your light and dark side. One thing that I've really recognized in dealing with people in this community, right, spiritual community, right, is that a lot of times people like to be like, "Oh, I'm of light. Oh, I'm of light. I'm light. I'm a light being. I'm light." Okay, and yin and yang has light and dark, and there's a little bit of darkness in the light, and there's a little bit of lightness in the dark. You can't go through this life not keeping a balance on that. All right. So, what are the challenges you are going to face over this next year as you kind of like come to terms with everything you are? You guys are stepping into a pretty powerful space. With great power comes great responsibility. Okay, and these were things that you chose because before you came here, this is what you needed to complete, and this is what you decided you needed to make you at peace with yourself, content. Challenges for 2023 for my life path 4. All right, so that 8 of Wands that flipped over and came back. Then we have Control, King of Cups, and we have the High Priestess. All right, and then we have the Ten of Swords coming up right here. All right, making sure y'all can see everything. So 8 of Swords, it says movement on here. So we have movement, control, the High Priestess, and then we have despair. So let's get into what the cards actually mean. As far as challenges goes, movement, control, High Priestess. You guys are going to move in some ways that separate you from other people, right? When your truth is out, you may feel like things may be at a little standstill for you, but they absolutely are not. Then we have resistance and we have control coming out together. I feel like you guys have been through a lot, right? And what I feel like you are resistant, and the King of Cups, when it comes to control, he's really very good at controlling his emotions, right? He keeps them in like a little box, like behind him. I know he holding his cup in his hand, but y'all can't see his emotions. The King of Cups is not going to show unless it's going to benefit him. There's no reason, right? King of Cups I like because I feel like the King of Cups is like this clear balance between masculine and feminine energy, which we all need, right? We all struggle with that balance regardless of what our actual gender is, or the actual gender we identify as. We all struggle with that, because society, outside world, has placed so much on us, to tell us, oh, you're a man, you can't do that. Oh, you're a woman, you can't do that. Oh, you can't be trans. Oh, them day, what's that? And so we come to this place where we have to come back and discover, okay, hold on. Why am I letting somebody else decide who I need to be internally, right? And so sometimes you may come to a point where you have to keep things to yourself. This is going to separate you from people who only want to use you, from people who are around you because of whatever status. And I also get that there is, it feels like, and I hate to say this, and I'm sorry because it might be hard, but it feels like the removal from some situation, the removal of some kind of status so that you guys can actually move forward. Now, I know the news ain't said that we going in a recession, but I've been grown and in a recession before, and honey, we're here, right? And everything is coming down to the get down at the end of the day. So what I'm gonna say is keep your ears up and listening and open for new opportunities, because one will open up for you, but you have to be open to it, right? And that means the loss of something that you feel like you need. And I honestly feel like there is something that has been really, really stressing you out, but you've been feeling like, oh, I need it, I need it, I need it. And so you've been going through the motions because you don't want to give something up. It's like having like working the most horrible job ever, and you're like, well, I need it, I got bills to pay. Like, yeah, you need a job, you don't need that one. Okay, so I always want you guys to keep that in mind, is that we all need people. We just don't need specific people, right? Like, we need people to be working at the grocery store so we can go grocery shopping, right? But we don't need that store around the corner to be open. Well, we can go to a different one. You get my drift? All right, so let's talk about some of the upgrades. Okay, enough of that. Let's talk about some upgrades that we will be dealing with in 2023. I'm gonna pull 3 runs. All right, I got 4. Drop it. All right, 1, 2, 3. Damn, Hagelaz. Goddamn, these is benefits. Thurisaz, and then we got Berkana coming up in reverse. Okay, so for benefits, we have Hagelaz. See, Hagelaz is a rune that comes off as the tower, right? It's like a hailstorm, but it is beneficial, just like the tower, in the way that it clears out the bullshit. It provides a revelation for you. So it is the you guys need some shit cleared out the way. All I can say is it almost feels like it's a bunch of weeds growing in the front, and Hagelaz is going to clear that out. That is going to be your benefit. And I'm sorry, because this right here, this challenge is the same thing that's breaking down to your benefit. Like, this is literally summing all of that up. It's going to be hard and it's going to be difficult, but when you come out of that other end, everything is going to be sunshine and roses. But you have to make it to the other side, and you have to have faith and believe. And I don't think this is going to be an easy year for you. But what I do think is that every single thing that you overcome this year is going to be so beneficial, right? It's like you can't graduate college without going through the pains of going to school. And that's just as simple as it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, college is difficult, but hey, you're going to do it if you want to graduate with this degree. Just like with anything else, you're going to work hard to be there. This is no different. I want you guys to keep your feet on the ground, keep your eyes moving forward, and just push forward, okay? Because right here, we have Thurisaz, right? Thurisaz is a thorn, a giant, is power defense. It is coming off as a challenge as well, right? But this is what you guys need, because let me tell you something about a 4. The way your mind puts shit together is kind of like sometimes the resolution can come off a little bit too easy, right? And I'm not saying life is easy for you guys. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that your thinking power, your critical thinking skills are above fucking average. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're above average. Like, if everybody else is sitting at a 5, 6, you guys are at like a 9, 10 on critical thinking. And that's because the way you see the world is almost like, okay, that puzzle piece is over there in the corner and that puzzle piece is over there in the corner, but I can see even from sitting miles away from these 2 pieces that they're supposed to fit together, whereas everybody isn't able to think like that. I hope that makes sense. And because you guys are so knowledgeable, because you know so much, because of the way that your brain works, more is expected of you. You could think it's not fair or it is fair or whatever. It is just the way that it is. We are all responsible for the knowledge that we possess. Now, this Berkana in reverse um, is so Berkana, if it was upright, it is about birch, fertility, birth, creation, growth. In reverse, it's about anxiety, and maybe a little bit too controlling, right? So what I'm getting right now with these cards that are on here, because we have Pride here with Berkana in reverse. Make sure I get the message that you guys need for your positive outcome or your benefit, I should say. Um, it is learning. I'm getting this idea of learning to loosen your grip on life, learning to loosen your control. A lot of things that you guys have anxiety about right now, you are totally going to get over it. There is this idea that you are going to master you, master what you want, master what you have, and then move forward regarding that. I do think that even though this is a challenging year as a life path 4, it's kind of like your life. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like being a genius and somebody's throwing this hard ass equation in front of your face and like, this is your specialty. Like, yeah, it might be difficult, but if anybody could do it, it would be you. If anybody would have a legit time, the easiest time doing it, it would be you. So even though I'm looking at this like, okay, yes, it might be difficult, you guys are going to handle this shit just like whatever the case may be. Like, you got it covered. Um, I was about to say something else. You you guys are, what I'm getting right now is that you guys are being energized in your power and your gifts, right? You might be a life path 4, and that might mean that you build foundations, like you're a builder of society, but there are many things that need to be built, right? So that means you are kind of like finding this destiny of what you want to build, what you like to build, and then moving forward in that. And that's one reason why it's going to be difficult, because you got shit to do, okay? You have it to do. But that is all I have for my Life Path 4 year ahead. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share. Make sure you leave your comments below, and I will see you next time.